And I was like, these guys are my age and they're making this much money being their own boss, working when they want to work. That sounds amazing.
We are super excited for today's podcast because we are going to talk about how Gabe, a local home service business owner, was able to double his business 2 years in a row. Hello and welcome to Local Business Legends podcast. In this podcast, we interview experts and successful business owners in the home service industry space. I am your host. My name is Jordan Richards. I have generated millions of dollars of additional revenue for local home service businesses through the use of digital marketing. I'm super excited to have Gabe on our show today. Gabe is the owner of Greer Land and Lawn LLC. He's down in South Carolina, and like I mentioned before, Gabe has doubled his business 2 years in a row, and we're going to talk about how he did that. So first, Gabe, let's talk about you. How did your business get started? When you were a little kid, did you always want to grow up to own a lawn care business? How did you get into it?
So, yeah, that's a great question. I started in high school mowing lawns, and just like a lot of other people, it was just kind of a side hustle in high school. Didn't really want to do that for a career or anything. So, long story short, I went to college for one semester and just generically, majored in biology and had no clue what I wanted to do. And I hated it, and I did not do well in my courses. So after one semester, I went ahead and unenrolled because it was not for me. And I came back and lived with my parents for a bit and just worked for a landscaping company. So it was at this company that I realized I wanted to go into the landscaping industry as a business owner. And so from that point, I was working at this company, getting some experience, and started looking around, discovered a degree. It's an associate's degree in horticulture near where I lived. And I went ahead and thought, okay, I'm going to take this path. I'm going to go get my degree in horticulture, and then I'll get out and start my own business. And that's exactly what I did. Um, went to this went to this school, got my while I was there, started my business about halfway through the program. And the timing worked out that I actually ended up buying another business when I graduated. So I graduated from that associate's degree and immediately went full time into mowing lawns. And so I had about 40 clients from that and was mowing about 40 lawns a week at that point. And that's how I got my start.
Cool. So at what point did you was there like a single instance where you realized, hey, this kind of like side hustle, 40 clients business could become something much more? Was there ever like a click in your mind where like, hey, this could really support my family, not only like a little bit, but like a lot?
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna go into 2 points where it happened. And so the first one was what really put me into the position to buy that business. And essentially, what happened was I was in class with other landscaping business owners. It being a 2 year degree in horticulture, that's just you had some other people who were running businesses in it. And I would talk with them, and they would share with me, yeah, this week I've got $1,000 on the books for revenue or whatever. And I was like, these guys are my age, and they're making this much money being their own boss, working when they want to work. That sounds amazing. So that was the first point that I was like, you can make some serious money doing this. And then the second point was when I had started my business. I and was had just purchased this book of clients and was starting to work and all that. I was just mowing lawns and I saw the potential to make decent money, but I didn't really understand the other side of business, which is landscaping, where the real profit is, I think. And so I remember I had this one uh, client who reached out about wanting an aeration, and it was like a 35,000 square foot lawn, it was a big lawn. And I just Googled what the industry averages were for aerating, and I sent her the quote, and it was like 600, $700, something like that. And she accepted it. And I was like, whoa, like this is one job and I'm going to do, 600 to $700, which is back then, that was a really good day of mowing for me. And so I think that initiated the jumping off point where I realized there's serious money to be made in the landscaping industry.
Cool. Cool. What would you say is your most profitable service of all your services?
Probably the most profitable is going to be plant installations. And really, the reason for that is I get a 30% discount being a contractor through my local nursery on plant material. So when I bid those installs, I charge a retail price to the client. And then I'm able to basically take that 30% of the material cost as profit. And then on top of that, um, putting plants in the ground is profitable. You can charge a lot of money, and it's very simple and easy work. So I'd say plant installations are probably my most profitable service right now.
Cool. I love that how you're able to kind of like take a step out of your comfort zone with other services. I know I talk to a lot of, local home service businesses, and it sounds like there's a common theme where everyone kind of gets started with their business. Yeah, in the beginning they take on like the easiest service that a lot of people can do. And then down the line, they realize that, hey, there's some other services I can offer. I don't know how to do them yet, but if I do them, they'll be way more profitable. One of the clients I work with, which is a multi-million dollar lawn fertilization and pest control company, they started out just lawn mowing, right? Just like many of us, and they were lawn mowing. They realized that they had to like have a truck full of like three guys just to make X dollars in a day. And it's like, um, and then they tried out lawn fertilization, and he realized one guy doing lawn fertilization can make more money in a day than a truck full of three guys doing lawn mowing can make in a week. And when they had that realization, they're like, instead of being a lawn mowing company that does fertilization, they were a fertilization company that does lawn mowing. And we've all heard of the book Profit First, and but that's you know we can make as much revenue as we want, but at the end of the day, profit's what puts food on the table for our families, and so that's why we need to definitely figure out which ones are the most profitable, and and go from there and build our business around that. Um, as a digital marketer, I will say the lawn in the case of a lawn care company, um, lawn mowing is typically the cheapest cost per lead, right? Um, and the bigger services, more profitable service, are typically more expensive, right? And so with most companies I work with, what we do is we get the lead on the phone looking for the basic service that we all do. What for plumbing and electricians, they like have like just like the tune-up service, and then while they're there, they upsell the big one. With like lawn mowing or cleaning companies, they just do like the basic like weekly service, and then they upsell like the big stuff. So for a lot of the clients I work with, we get them as many lawn mowing clients as possible, and then they train their office team to upsell the fertilization, right? And that's a big thing I've learned with a lot of our clients is how important upsells are, right, to a business, because the cheapest lead you'll ever get is an existing client who wants another service, right? And that's why it's so important to train whoever answers the phone when a lead comes in from your website or whatever. Um, when the person answers the phone for your business, is that person answering the phone, are they just a cashier or are they a salesperson, right? And what do I mean by that? Like, cashiers are just people who just take your order, right? Like, hey, what do you want? Right? Like, okay, you want a muffin and a coffee? Okay, boom, boom, boom. Anything else? Check out, right? That's what a cashier does. But if you can train the person who answers your phone to be a salesperson, not just a cashier, that's when, your conversion rate not only goes up, right? But also your, just overall revenue and bottom line, everything goes up when you're able to make each client and each lead worth more to your business. So I love how you said, Gabe, how you kind of transitioned to more services, even if you weren't quite comfortable with those yet. So that's awesome. So Gabe, so as like we talked about, you've doubled 2 years in a row. What has been one of the biggest obstacles? I know you and I had briefly talked about, kind of finding that new service. Um, was that your biggest obstacle, or was there other things that you really need to figure out in order to be able to double 2 years in a row?
Well, I think you raise a really good point, which is that most businesses you see, especially in the service industry, end up niching down. So they end up finding another service. They start out with a very broad service like mowing lawns in this case, and then down the line they may niche into fertilizing and weed control or hardscapes or whatever, basically a much more profitable but much more niched service. And that's kind of what I've done with my business. When I started, I actually just simply mowed lawns, and that was all I did because frankly, I was scared of niching down. I was scared of finding these bigger landscaping installs where I could go in these projects for say $5,000, $10,000, and something bad could happen. I could go underwater on the project. I was like deathly afraid of that. And so after that first year, I did about $60,000 in revenue just mowing lawns. And then in the next year, I said, okay, this year I've got my feet under me. I've done the mowing thing. I've seen the kind of revenue that I can make in a day with that. I want to branch into landscaping. And it was in that year which started offering sod installation, plant installation, mulch installation, some rock work, that kind of stuff. Really, just the softscapes as a landscaping service, and it was definitely difficult. It's harder work, but it's more niche. The profits are higher, and it's worth the difficulty, and it's worth the risk. Ultimately, it was a risk opening myself up to that kind of liability with those larger projects, but it's paid off in a massive way in my revenue number. So I went from doing $60,000 of revenue to as a solo operator to $100,000 of revenue in 1 year, um, even over $100,000 really, but was able to do that by adding in these more niche services, these more individual services.
I love that. I love that. So if you were to do it all over again, what would you change?
If I was to do it all over again, I would probably start out doing what I'm doing now, which is keep a small schedule of lawn maintenance, of lawn mowing, just to have that recurring revenue, but then open up the rest of my work week, say 3 days of my work week, to doing landscape installs. So I would try and do that, I think.
Cool. Love that. More profitable services to begin with. Love that. So what does running and owning a successful business do for you and your family?
Well, I think for my family where I'm at, I think it provides freedom because I'm able to, in many ways, make my own schedule. Sorry about that. Make my own schedule, and uh, and I think as far as the money side, it provides that upward leverage for you to control your income. I think that's super important with today with the inflation rate, with the cost of groceries and stuff that you just buy on a weekly basis. It's important to be able to grow your income as you work harder.
Cool. I love that. Love that. Yeah, I've definitely Um, I went down a rabbit hole this year of like the stock market or like real estate. Like, hey, if I have some extra money, where should I put it? Stocks, real estate. And, 100% of the time, as a business owner, rolling it back into your business will give you like way better return than the stock market ever will. Right? Like I
Right.
had a client who had an extra, $1,000 a month. We put those into ads, and in that first year, that $1,000 a month, which was $12,000 for the year, turned into 24,000. Right, so that money doubled in 1 year. And like the stock market, the best stock market is like averages like 9 or 10% or something like that. That's 100% return that my client got from just reinvesting back into his business. So as business owner, it's really cool that we have the ultimate stock, so to speak, and that's 100% equity of our or partnerships or whatever of our businesses where we can roll that money back into it and it will pump us back out even more money than we put into it. And it's, it's awesome. And we've had clients all across the board grow all different sizes, and it's been a lot of fun being able to help them out. So as far as marketing goes, Gabe, how has working with me and my team to get your digital marketing dialed in, what has that done to change your business recently?
So I think prior to signing up with y'all, I was trying to do it all myself, and I knew a little bit, like I knew I should be getting Google reviews because that can boost your SEO and stuff, but really did not have a good website, and I did not. I tried to run a couple of ad campaigns on my own, and they got me nothing. And I can tell you definitively, with my previous website, I got a total of one lead during the entire like year that I had it that came through the website. And then this year, I really wanted to make the investment and have a professional company operate that side of my business. And you guys have taken it to the next level. So literally, like I've been signed up with y'all for 2 months, and I've gone from having zero leads coming in through my website or my phone number or whatever to now, on average, I'd say I'm probably getting 4 to 5 leads a day. And some of that's from the Google ads that I'm spending, and some of that's just the SEO that y'all do with the website and the putting the reviews on there and the backlinks and all that stuff. It has absolutely killed it. And, obviously it's more than paying for itself, to have that, to invest in the marketing and then have all these leads coming in and be able to capture all this extra revenue from that. It is 100% taking my business to the next level. So,
Cool. Yeah, I love that. We were looking at your numbers before we started this podcast, and we were looking at your cost per lead was about $17, and that's insane. A lot of people we've worked with in the past, a lot of people come from like Angie's leads or like Yelp leads, stuff like that, and we've found that a lot of people hate those type of leads because Angie's leads is selling that lead to like 10 different people. And so basically all Angie's leads is doing is creating a race to the bottom, if that makes sense. So it's like we just sold this lead to 10 different landscapers. Whoever's the first landscaper to call them and offer them like zero profit price gets the lead, right? And nobody wins at that race because everyone who didn't land the client paid out that lead for nothing. And then whoever did get the client is now like their profit margin's non-existent, right? And we can't put food on our table with zero profit margin, right? And so these leads that your website generates are so much better because when a person calls Gabe, they're looking to talk to Gabe. When a person calls Angie's leads, they're looking to talk to 10 different people, right? So these leads typically have a higher close rate and a higher profit margin because they're getting to you through your website versus, Angie's leads and stuff like that. And like I said, a $17 cost per lead, that's pretty insane. That's I don't want to I don't want to compare apples to oranges, because there's some more competitive people out there, different industries out there. But in your case, Gabe, and for your business, is $17 is that a pretty good cost per lead for you?
oh, I'll take that for the rest of my life, all day, every day. So I'll do that every day of the week. That is amazing for me.
Cool. And so, for those watching, one of the ways we were able to do that for Gabe, and here's kind of some of the secret sauce, is in the Google Ads account, you can optimize for a couple things. Most people optimize for clicks. They basically say, "Hey Google, get me as many clicks as possible for my budget." Okay. And that is really good at doing one thing, which is get you as many clicks as possible. Unfortunately, the clicks may be garbage clicks, right? If the phrase lawn mowing was one of your keywords, funny lawnmower kid video is not gonna, somebody Googling that's gonna be a click that you just earned, that you just paid for, but that's not gonna turn into a lead, right? That's not going to turn into work. That's somebody looking for some funny video. Or lawnmower repair, DIY, right? That's not going to turn into money for you, right? So when you optimize for clicks, PPC, pay per click, that is a really great way to get a lot of traffic, but not a lot of leads. In the Google Ads account, you can optimize for leads by putting special tracking codes and stuff into your website. And then Google can optimize for with this budget, instead of getting me as many clicks as possible, get me as many phone calls as possible. And that's what we did for Gabe that has really, to take that cost per lead and really made it awesome, right? And so, I typically ask people, would you rather have, 1,000 clicks and one lead, or would you rather have 100 clicks and 100 leads, right? You're getting, way less clicks, but you're getting way more leads. And at the end of the day, you don't care how many clicks, you care about how many phone calls you get. And that's what we did for Gabe. And so for anyone's watching, make sure your Google Ads account is dialed in to focus on leads, not clicks, because clicks don't get you clients. It's leads that get you clients. So that was one of the wins for Gabe. Um, another another home run or secret sauce that I want to share that has helped Gabe get that cost per lead is a lot of business owners out there have what I call shiny object syndrome, where there's a cool product or service that looks really cool, but you got to really look at the numbers, the results, right? Don't take your gut feeling, because always take the data, because the data doesn't lie. So one common thing, at least in the home service industry, I've found is you get a much better ROI, return on investment, from Google Ads versus Facebook ads, right? All business owners have heard of Facebook ads and they think they want Facebook ads. But at the end of the day, if I say, hey, would you rather put $100 into Facebook ads and get one lead, or $100 into Google ads and get 10 leads, right? Obviously, you would want the 10 leads, right? And so we have found that as far as the home service industry goes, right, plumbers, electricians, cleaners, landscapers, you name it, Google Ads typically has the best return on investment. So for my clients, I advise them, hey, let's put money into Google first, and then once we hit that point of diminishing return, then we're going to move on to putting our budget into Facebook as we grow the company. And then, the crown jewel, like you talked about, Gabe, is SEO. SEO is definitely a long-term play, but like you said, Gabe, we've only been working with you for a few months now. We've already gotten some pretty good SEO results. There are some SEO things that are quick wins, right, that you can implement to get your SEO rocking and rolling. Yes, it does take a little bit longer to get, top of top of page one of Google for a bunch of things, but there are some quick wins that can generate work, right? Because at the end of the day, like I said, you care about, people calling in. You don't care about this, like this fancy SEO thing, top of page for this random keyword that no one ever clicks on anyways, right? At the end of the day, let's do the Google ads, let's do the Facebook ads, let's do the SEO things that actually get leads, and then we'll focus on all the fancy things that also get leads, but here's some easy, quick wins that can get your website rolling, rocking and rolling pretty quick there. So those are some quick wins that we were able to implement for Gabe. And yeah, I love your website, Gabe. One tip and trick I always give people with the website is I've looked at so many websites out there, and you'd be so surprised by how many websites are out there that don't have like the basics. Like, so many people out there like don't have like a get a free quote or their phone number button like right there. You have to like scroll and find it. Or even sometimes when you do find it, it doesn't even work. So for everyone watching this, be sure to look and make sure your website's actually working properly. Make sure there's call to actions at the very top. Without scrolling, I should be able to know who you are, where you service, what you service, and how to get a hold of you, right? Those are the four most important things. And if I have to scroll to find out that information, your website could be better. So definitely go implement those things. So yeah, well, Gabe, thank you so much for letting me interview you and these sharing some of these wins. I think that's all the questions I had for you. Did anything else that comes off the top of your mind that you wanted to share before we wrap up?
No, I think you had a great questions there, so I think everything was answered.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Gabe. So if you're watching this, if you are in South Carolina and you need landscaping or lawn care, be sure to give Gabe a call. You can check him out at greerlandandlawn.com. If you are a local if you are a local business owner looking to grow their company like Gabe, through the use of digital marketing, I would love to help out. You can schedule a Zoom chat with me and my team anytime at localbusinesslegends.org. And as always, give us a follow on any of our platforms for more content like this. Thank you so much, Gabe, for joining us on the podcast today. I think a lot of listeners can get that takeaway of don't be afraid to increase your services to really find that most profitable service, because that at the end of the day, that's what's going to put money on the table. That's what's going to grow your business. Um, so thank you so much again, Gabe, and we hope to have you back on our show real soon. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.